Welcome to Nerdy Drunk and Stoned. It's Thursday, June 18th, 2020. My name's Adam. I'm joined as always by Michael and Jason. Guys, what did y'all think of that PS5 Reveal event? Because it all they did was show the same pictures we've already seen and give us a list of games essentially.
No, I thought like the console got revealed. Like we didn't know that it looked the way it did, right? We didn't know that already.
I don't think we officially knew, no.
They released the controllers. That was about it.
And the console though, because that's when like all the memes started coming out.
No, he's saying prior to.
Yeah, prior to the event, because now everything was flooded with memes of how the fucking console looks now.
My favorite was it's like two pieces of paper on a like cable modem.
Oh, I've seen that. I've also seen the one with like all the antennas sticking out like a router or something. It's pretty good.
I don't plan on buying it. I'm just gonna say that now. Only because I guarantee you it's gonna be way overpriced in the beginning. I'm gonna let it come. I'm gonna wait for it to come down like at least a year before I can
come down to earth.
Yeah, at least a year, just because.
Yeah, no. Well, we already discuss this. How like that's just as an adult. I mean, why would I buy a dedicated hardware system for games that
but Jason,
has no games?
You get to buy GTA 5 again.
Again, I've never bought it once. Well, so fucking shame on me. But if I was gonna buy it, it would be on fucking shit. It was free on PC like a week or two, a month ago. So
it's the Skyrim GTA.
Yeah, I forget what it was free on. It was free whatever on one of these services. They did GTA 5, then they did Civ 6, I think. For their free games. So
what do y'all think of the design?
What do I think of what?
The design.
Of the console?
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. It plays games, right? I mean, it looks kind of fucking stupid. I mean, I wish it would just. It's not like practical. Like it looks flashy, but I've seen pictures of it laying flat, and so I guess it could do that. But like, aren't these things supposed to be like sturdy? Like you're about to drop $500 to $800 on this thing, and it looks like if you fucking fell over, it would shatter into glass.
Elon Musk.
Yeah,
he needs to design a video game console. This thing will be bulletproof. It'll be shatterproof. It will probably get up. It'll probably get up and dance for you. As
what you're
loaded.
describing is the original Xbox.
Yeah, what you're describing is
by Microsoft
is the Strata, which is doing quite well. So is that what's called? Stradia, something?
I think it's called garbage. I think is what it's called. I
keep seeing commercials for it. Like I see commercials for it constantly on the internet. I don't
commercials.
I heard it's doing terrible. I heard it's doing terrible.
I think it's on YouTube. I see commercials for it, but yeah, I mean, no one has it and no one wants it. I
mean, Mike said he's not getting it. Whenever you do get it, Jason,
PS5?
Will you be getting? Yeah. Will you be getting? No. Will you be getting the disc drive version or the non?
Oh,
I mean, you download games already, because
I'll probably get the disc drive for like prosperity's sake. I think of things like in 10 years when it's a fully moddable console and no one cares that you mod it because you're on PS6. I think of things like you'll need a disc drive for that,
Good call. Good call. I didn't even think about that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, maybe you won't.
It still has like USB ports for the
but a lot of the way like
controllers and stuff, so you could sideload anything.
That's true, but a lot of cracks, like when these consoles get cracked, and it changes years down the road. But I know with like Wii, Dreamcast, and not PSP, but Wii, Dreamcast, and maybe PS3, you needed like a disc version of a game to basically like boot these whatever. I don't know how the fuck you crack the system, but that's how it had to be done for quite a while. Like for the Wii for years and years, it was just you needed a disc version of whatever Zelda was out for Wii, not Breath of the Wild. I know that was like Switch. It was fucking what was I can't even think of which one it was. It was when you turn to a wolf, whichever one that is.
Oh, I didn't play that one.
Didn't play that. Why can't I think of these titles? I can think of Skyward Sword, and I didn't even play that fucking game. Oh, Twilight Princess. You needed a physical copy of Twilight Princess, basically to crack your Wii. And once it's cracked, you can do anything you want off of like the USB drive. That's how you install like all your programs. But to crack it, you needed a physical disc. So you just never know. People figure this shit out in all kinds of ways. But yeah, I'll still get the disc version. I mean,
I don't feel like I'm gonna get the disc version. Like I was one of the people that was disappointed whenever I think Xbox One's original design wasn't necessarily not going to include a disk drive, but it was, what did everyone freak? Oh, you needed like a permanent internet connection or whatever.
oh yeah, always online.
But it was going to give you all these additional features and stuff. Like I was already on board with that, and all my Xbox games that I own are in, and PS4 games are entirely downloaded. Like
Yeah, I think the vast majority of mine honestly are downloaded. I think 90% of my games are downloaded.
I think it's like Skyrim Master Chief Collection is like one of the only ones that's not, and it's it stays permanently inside my console because it's the only one, so I don't even think about it.
Yeah,
I think I have a physical copy of like Mortal Kombat X, like Street Fighter, and like Puyo versus Tetris, and really I think that's it for my physical copies.
so are we bound and destined for a future where we're constantly buying external hard drives just to conserve
definitely.
space?
Yeah. Well, I think they'll
Probably so.
eventually get big enough that it won't be such an. Well, I say that, but clearly we see the trend of like games are becoming bigger
It's gonna
and
be
bigger.
streamed. I'm telling you, it's gonna be streamed though. I think newer consoles are gonna be
The Strata.
if there's hardware. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I guarantee you they're gonna move in that direction. At least Xbox and PlayStation will, because the price point for having a hard drive large enough to give it years worth of life is going to be so high that you won't want to buy it. So it becomes this double-edged sword.
Well, but they're getting cheaper and cheaper and bigger, though. I mean,
That's true, but so are the games. They're getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting. I think you guys.
Stadia.
I think
It's Stadia. That's how you pronounce it. Stadia.
I think you guys
Stadia
both bring
is a
up
streaming service, not a console.
No, it is a console.
It's a console.
Stadia is
That's
a
exactly
console
what it
to
is.
stream, but it's exactly what you're talking about. It's the first attempt. It's by Google, right?
Yep.
And you stream games, so you never have to buy a game. You buy like a subscription to just play all the games. But people that have it say, and you know how important this is for gamers. Yeah, the delay isn't terrible, but even like a quarter of a second delay is like unacceptable in most people's minds. And I think that's
definitely unacceptable in a shooter.
no, but I mean any competitive, a shooter, a fucking fighting game, and even not even on a multiplayer level. If I'm playing Dark Souls or Demon Souls or any of that shit, yeah, a fucking quarter second delay, yeah, I'm gonna get my ass kicked. Like
I heard
Is
about
this thing like a Chromecast?
sort of. I had heard about an article about them talking about how they're making it essentially where your computer doesn't even matter what kind of hardware you have for your computer. It's going to be at the point where they're streaming it from computers that are so good that you essentially just need
it's all about the internet connection, though. That's the problem.
you basically just need a screen. Yeah, a screen and an internet connection.
Yeah,
Basically.
but what I hate to say is that I don't necessarily know that we're there yet. Like, I'm glad that someone is taking the chance on this, but yeah, as Adam says, I mean, you can look at the reviews on YouTube and everywhere. Like, consumers that actually have the product have trashed it quite heavily, and we just might be a little too soon, maybe like 10 years too early for that to be like seamless.
I'll say 5.
Okay, but still, a little. You jumped the gun a little bit. You wanted to be the first guy in the market with that, but you were
So
just
it's
a little.
$130.
Is it? I don't know how much it is.
It's way overpriced for how much it is.
It says it's a Chromecast Ultra controller, and then a subscription fee.
Oh yeah.
But
okay.
this is also sort of like GeForce Now. They just launched recently, and I attempted to try it out, but if you're not actually paying for it, the fucking queues for a game is hours long. So if you're actually paying for it, then I'm sure it's like jump right in.
Play now, yeah.
Yeah, but if you just want to, I was trying to give it a trial run. I think I was gonna put it on Fortnite or something because I wanted to see, like I said, the lag and the responsiveness. But after about 3-hour wait, I was like, it's not even worth testing. Like, I don't even care anymore.
Unless you pay, so. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's straight on the PC without any hardware necessary.
Have either one of you guys tried PlayStation Now?
No. Jade has Xbox. What's the Xbox equivalent of that?
Xbox right now?
Xbox right now, right?
No,
it's basically it's Xbox Now. Same thing. You pay a monthly subscription, you get access to all these games. She had it for a bit, maybe 2 or 3 months.
I had it for. There was a period where you could like pay for 1 month and you got like 3.
Yeah. I think that's probably exactly what she did, and it's cool. But so I would get it.
It worked well. I'll give it that.
I would get it for my kid. If I was an adult, which I am, but if I had a small adult child in my house,
A small child.
Yeah, I would get it for them because I would argue that I'm not sure the cost benefit analysis as someone working a 40-hour job, like unless you're spending all your free time in front of the TV, you might not get what you want out of it, you know. I felt like you might be overpaying.
I will say this: PlayStation's on-demand service, the lag time is very, very low.
Can't you stream like PS4 games to a fucking PSP and shit? I know that's something you can do.
You can stream onto your computer.
Yeah, well, not a PSP, PS Vita or whatever. You can literally play like your PS4 games on a PS Vita. I don't know. PlayStation's really ahead on some shit that like no one cares about.
Well,
No, I remember because I got Beyond Two Souls on PS Now because I did like a calculation. I'm like, this is a game that I want to play anyways. So if I was gonna pay like.
Is that the Ellen Page one?
Yeah. So I was like, if I'm gonna buy it anyways, the price, like if this thing pays for itself. So that's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna jump on it. Mike, you're saying?
Oh no, I'm just blown away by just these streaming services like Stadia, PlayStation Now, even Nintendo's streaming service is pretty solid.
What
The hell? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Nintendo, they have a library for regular Nintendo and then Super Nintendo games.
But that's not like streaming. You don't download them?
You stream
They're
those.
downloaded. No,
No,
they're
you don't
downloaded.
download those.
I thought you downloaded
Yes,
them.
you do, because it updates like every time they add a game,
And then,
and I'm pretty sure it's downloading it to your system. Like,
well. Let me say this though: if it is streaming, you're talking about the quality of streaming a regular Nintendo and a Super, a game that is less than. I think at peak cartridges were 4 megs, and you're talking about like the end of life cycle Super Nintendo games. Most are like a megabyte or 2. And so like, yeah, I mean, I would hope to God that we could
a fraction of a second of a modern
yeah,
game.
exactly. Yeah, your fucking internet streaming could do a megabyte a second download. So yeah, I would hope that that runs seamlessly. When you're talking about a game like Call of Duty, that's a 140 fucking gigabyte install on my PC. Like, yeah, good luck streaming that shit.
I played Dynasty Warriors on DSL on my PlayStation 4 or PlayStation Now.
And that was PlayStation Now.
And it did not lag at all.
And
Yeah,
you
PS Now is solid.
You didn't feel like any delay or anything in your controls at all?
Not except only in the very beginning when the game was loading itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's it.
It stabilizes.
Okay. It
Yeah.
kind of adjusts.
Mhm.
I don't know. Someone that played fighters competitively for a little bit, like I noticed that shit immediately in games. Like, I mean, I'll be playing a game, and I mean, the second I press forward, if it's not immediately responsive, I'll go into my TV settings and like tinker because I'm like, nope, something's wrong.
Fighters, first-person shooters.
Things where you need like instant response.
Oh yeah, well I complain about Red Dead Redemption 2 all the time because while it's like an incredible experience, there are things like as a gamer that I fucking care about. And I think from the time that you push your joystick to the time your character actually starts walking or running, it's something like fucking 18 frames, 22 frames. So it literally takes like half a fucking second to move. And I know to a lot of people that doesn't matter, but to someone like me, like that's just great. It's like grating my fucking teeth. I'm like, why does this take so long?
The Witcher's kind of like that too. Like you feel a little bit of like.
Are you playing? Are you on PC or console?
I mean, I've played it on both.
What are you playing it on right now?
I just got it today on PC through that.
I would maybe say that you are correct. I mean, the rolls are pretty quick. I think like his dodges are good. Now the hot back.
I'm saying if you go from like straight standing, you're not moving around, to like you start to move. There's
there's that Red Dead. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But once you start moving, it's fluid, and then once you stop, there's like this like.
You're right. It's that still standing to movement. There's that lurch. You're right. Where he's like, okay, now I'm gonna start running. It's realistic, but it's a fucking video game. I mean, But The Witcher 3's combat, just like Red Dead Redemption's 2, I'll say neither of them are so challenging that you need that it's not Dark Souls where you have like 1 frame windows and shit. So.
True. Were there any PS5 games that y'all were extremely excited about? Jason, you were giddy about Squadrons.
There's one game.
That didn't come out on the PS5. That's something else. And actually, there was a Uplay event literally like an hour ago or something. Yeah, where they showed the gameplay. So you're gonna be able to do.
It's coming out PS4 and PS5.
No. Stop. We have to delay because I have to talk about other PS5 launch titles because I have a lot to say about Squadrons. So first, to just say other titles that they revealed from PS5 that I was excited for. There's that one where you're a spaceman or something, Pragmata, I think. Or Pagmata. It looked kind of like Death Stranding in the sense that it didn't make any fucking sense what I was watching. But,
God, I still need to play Death Stranding.
And they announced the new Horizon, which Horizon's like fantastic, and it's still arguably like the best looking game on PS4. So that's cool. I never played the Spider-Man game, so I don't know what I think about the Miles Spider-Man.
It's supposed to be like it's gonna be half the length of the original. It's more of I think they called it an expansion than a standalone game.
Oh,
I don't think you need the base game, but it's basically is gonna build off the same like world and engine that they already created. They were just able to put a story in there, and then like recreate.
People love that character so much, and
people love that game. Anyone who's played that fucking Spider-Man game literally like sucks its dick real bad.
I mean, it looked awesome on Twitch. I never played it.
I have not played it, not yet, but I will. I mean, I'll play it.
Astro's Playroom.
Why can't
Is that a VR
find
title? I didn't get a chance to watch the actual launch event. Did they comment on how VR is going to work? Does the PS4 hardware work?
I didn't watch it either. I just saw some of the games. Pragmata is what the game's called. That's right. But it's going to be on Xbox also. They just showed the trailer at the PS5 event. It's from Capcom. It's like holographic cats and robots, and nothing makes any sense. It really looked like a Death Stranding trailer. Like, I watched it, and I was like, this looks really cool, but I also have no fucking idea what it's about. But it looks cool. And so that was kind of the one trailer that I saw that got me hyped. I think we talked about the Xbox one. Well, like, it's kind of similarly, the only game that I cared about was whatever that horror game. I think it was Asylum, maybe. I forget what it was called. But it was by the Silent Hill person. Again, didn't know what was going on, but interesting concepts.
The things that get you interested.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for the new Horizon. I'm kind of hoping it comes to PC because I think the old Horizon is going to come out for a PC too. So,
Horizon Forbidden West is the new one.
Yeah. Horizon's a really good game. It's like an easier Monster Hunter, but it's a good one.
So all those games are still not more interesting than Squadron.
Yeah. So I just watched a gameplay thing on it, and so it's gonna be like a 5v5 mode. It's gonna be a single player. There's gonna be something called like fleet battles, where it's still 5v5, but you have 3 capital ships that you have to attack and defend, like 2 medium and 1 large. And if I'm understanding correctly, I think those flagships give you like
have mobs.
Yeah, it's gonna have like AI controlled mobs linked to each one that can kind of attack and defend. So they're like, you have to weigh the pros and cons of like defending or attacking. It looks like fucking Rogue Squadron. So whatever, man. Day one. Sorry.
Exactly, my thoughts exactly. I just that there's going to be a VR component to this game as well.
Well, they said in that. So I think it literally just came out an hour ago. The thing that I'm referencing, it's like a 5-minute gameplay walkthrough by EA. Just came out at their event.
Okay, because I was looking for like gameplay footage all day.
It literally just came out. I want to say it came out less than an hour ago, and they talk about how the game is fully supported. Like everything will be VR. Like if you want it to be, like you can play the entire game in VR, multiplayer, single player, it doesn't matter. So
that sounds like a headache. I think I'd get sick.
And they showed some of the vehicles you'll be able to pilot. They also said there'll be DLC, but just like I don't know if Battlefront 2 follows this model or Battlefield 2, whatever.
Battlefront.
This is Call of Duty with spaceships.
Yeah, well, they said everything will be unlockable in game. Now, does that mean like feasibly it's unlockable? Probably not. But again, you just mentioned Call of Duty. Something I fucking don't like about Warzone and stuff is that nothing is unlockable other than like your base game shit. Like there's no way to like earn tokens and unlock DLC items. So, or if there is, I haven't discovered it.
It's coming out soon. It's coming out in October.
October 2nd. So.
Yeah. So.
Oh my god, it's gonna have VR support on PS4. I was assuming they were talking about PC.
Yep.
Nope.
The game story is set after Return of the Jedi 2, which is kind of cool because I
have to get it for VR.
I enjoy my lore, so
You can probably. It's probably one and the same. It's probably the same game. It's just you can probably play it in VR mode.
Yeah, I
playing,
think so.
I'm definitely playing single player in VR. I don't think I would.
I don't think I do
want to play multiplayer.
VR,
It's too hard.
But single player, yeah, because I remember Rogue Squadron, I did play a lot of the time in cockpit view. So to have that option to do it in VR,
I can't imagine sitting in a fucking Star Wars vehicle,
A-wing, X-wing, B-wing,
in space, flying around.
I did see people were bitching because I think it's the B-wing, and this is where video will be important to my description because I can't describe it with words well. A B-wing is like this, and then when it opens, the mass of the ship comes down, and the wings like extend out, and you have the little pod. But in like this trailer, they showed it already flying like this. And then the wings like just come out, and I didn't like that. I was like, no, that's not how the ship functions.
You're being that Star Wars nerd, being like, this is not accurate.
It's not accurate to Rogue Squadron. Damn it, the B-wing, it was like a weird, wonky, shitty ship, but it definitely opened and closed a certain way, and they've changed that. And I'm a little like,
I actually agree with Adam on this. You are being a little nitpicky, Jason.
I played a lot of Rogue Squadron. Okay,
hey, same here,
Rogue Squadron 2, and they even had Rogue Squadron 3, I think, which had like Rogue Squadron 2 built in with co-op. Man, those games were so fucking good.
And those ships all look correct.
No, the ship looks fine. Just mechanically, it operates a tiny bit different. It's a nitpick. I know it is. It doesn't matter. Still super excited. They get all your classics. They get your TIE bombers and your A-wings. And...
See, I played Gran Turismo in VR.
That seems like it's difficult.
It's a fun game. It's really fun. It's really enjoyable. I never got sick or anything playing it, but I imagine.
Yeah, but in Gran Turismo, you're not spinning. The axis is a little different. What? You're going left and right. You're not going up, down, left, right.
Yeah,
true. But it is a cockpit game though, where you are strapped into the seat. You are going like 1,000 miles an hour. You have to make split-second decisions. So there is some similarities for sure. But for me personally, if I'm not playing Squadrons in first person, there's no point in playing. That's how I feel.
I disagree. So, like, just from like a role-playing standpoint, definitely single player. I played a lot of it through Cockpit. Replaying missions, I played a lot. But from a multiplayer standpoint, I mean, like, I think you get
there's reasons to do both.
Yeah, there's much tighter control and less distractions when you're in third person.
And you have a larger field of view as well. I mean, just competitively, there is a strategic advantage to being in third person and then switching to first person if, like, you're up behind someone and have better aiming.
I'm going to do it. You guys are going to make me do it.
Oh, also, at this EA event, they also announced Dragon Age 4. They literally didn't show anything. They announced it, and I think that was
okay, so it'll be out
some
10 years
red
from now.
shit. Yeah, exactly. Which I have not played any of the Dragon Ages, so I have like no opinion.
I think I had Dragon Age 3 for free on Xbox because it was one of those like this month.
It's
this
free.
game, and I dicked around on it for like maybe 10 hours. I mean, it was
I despise
an enjoyable experience.
I despise games that
games?
you can go third person in that aren't silly. Like going third person in Mario Kart That makes sense to me. It's a silly, dumb game. It's for fun. There's nothing competitive in Mario Kart.
Are you talking about Squadrons?
But when it comes to games like
Oh my
Squadrons,
god. Rogue Squadron was an arcade
Gran
like flight
Turismo,
simulator. It literally has an arcade feel to it, which is why it's third person. I can understand your argument, but that's like saying every racing game should be first person, you know? Why isn't GTA first person? I mean,
because when in life, Jason, are
constantly.
things
I'm
in
constantly
third
in first
person?
person. I'm in first person right now. Holy shit, my
Yeah,
mind's blown.
yeah, exactly.
You're competing, Jason.
Yeah. Oh no, stop.
That's why I despise third person games, because they're so
The
unless
Last
they're
of Us? You don't like The Last of Us, boy?
I have
Come
not
on.
played that.
Yeah, go play. You would love
never
it.
played the
It's filled
first-
with all your leftist dreams. Free societies and no politicians.
How is that a leftist stream?
I don't know. I'm just picking on Mike. It's everyone's dream.
That's a libertarian dream.
That's right. Except you have fungus monsters that don't like you.
That's what guns are for.
So what day is Last of Us 2 dropping? Because again, I thought it was out already.
The download becomes available Central Time at 11 p.m. I have an alarm set.
Tonight?
Because I've already purchased it. It technically launches
Leaked.
tomorrow.
Oh, okay. But I guess because I knew I had someone say they started playing it on like the 16th and 17th, and they probably got early physical copies.
They probably have early access. I mean, Twitch is covered in Last of Us streams right now, but that's because streamers get
literally
like,
before
promote our fucking game.
Before we did this, I popped up Twitch and I was like, "Whoa, Last of Us 2 is at the top." All right.
Exactly. I had to leave several streams because they're like, "All right, we're gonna be switching over to Last of Us. We're gonna be playing Last of Us today." And I was like, "Okay, it was fun listening to your intro. I'm leaving."
Yeah, spoilers galore. They're all out there. I mean, just watch yourselves.
I haven't been to the corners of the internet recently that.
When will we get a Titanfall 3? That will be good. That will be as
when will
popular.
we get a perfect Titanfall?
All right. I don't know. Titanfall 2 is
a
pretty
perfect
great.
Titanfall would be. I mean, it was pretty good, but
no one plays
it didn't have the no one played it whenever it first came out. That was my biggest beef.
It's because it's called Titanfall.
Dude, it's got fucking mechs,
yeah,
an amazing
dude.
movement system,
yeah, it's so
skill-based shooting. It's such a great game, but no one played it. Like, don't get me started. I could go on just a rant about missed opportunities for or pro leagues that didn't pick that up. It is what it is, though. We mentioned the Witcher 3 earlier that I'm playing on. I just started playing on PC.
Hey.
Because CD Projekt, who owns the GOG, what would we call that?
Oh, they do own GOG.
Gaming?
You're right.
Yeah.
It's I guess a PC gaming platform, I guess.
Yeah, you call it. It's basically their version of Steam.
Yeah.
They're basically, people were saying they were doing it as a promotional. Essentially, if you own a PS4 and Xbox One title and you link your account to GOG, then you get the PC title for free.
All games?
Huh? No, it's just The Witcher 3.
Witcher 3.
That's the promotion. You get The Witcher 3 PC version for free. So I did that today. I was playing a little bit. I was reading about it, and they were doing it as a promotional, people are saying, because Cyberpunk 2077 was supposed to be coming out in September. So this was a way to get people to go out and get GOG. And then once Cyberpunk comes out, you'll get Cyberpunk on GOG.
But Cyberpunk will be available on Steam.
It got delayed.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Like, they promotional has been running for the last, I think, week or so, and ends next week. Cyberpunk got delayed, or the announcement came out, I think, today. It only was it got pushed back from like mid-September to mid-November. So it got pushed
Little-
back an
little
additional
delay.
2 months. I just thought it was just ironic that they were running this big promotional and they still ended up, oh, our bad. We're going to delay the game again.
See, that's fine. That's fine because the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved their first video game prescription for ADHD.
Oh man, whatever.
It's
what?
called-
You know. Hold on. Let me rant very briefly. Which is my rant was before the virus of Corona came out. Who had literally labeled like video game addiction as a real like condition? Okay, this is a real thing that we're diagnosing people. Video game addiction, where it's detrimental to their lives. Because some people let it's just like a drug addiction. It can take over and you'll ignore everything.
Yeah.
And then who said during the pandemic, a great way to pass time and hold on to your sanity is to play video games with people that you like and make new friends. So just fuck those people. Fuck who in general. Anyway, the end. It's my rant.
I'm not a big fan of WHO.
Well said.
Don't let China hear you.
Yeah, well said, Jason. Yeah, I don't want my bank account to be robbed of all of its dollars. Thank you very much.
Adam, you have. Yeah, what's the game Adam has?
Oh, Valorant.
Yeah, Adam, you have Valorant. You can no longer speak out against China publicly. Those times are behind you.
Yeah, it's such a great game that I downloaded it. I've yet to play it. I just installed
Don't let him hear you, Adam. You're...
Dude, I got Chinese not webcams, but I got Chinese security cameras around my house.
You got roots in your computer.
I got no problem with China spying on me. I'd rather them spy on me than the U.S. government, which they already are.
Which makes no sense.
No,
but we're not getting into that. So,
Okay.
anyways, the game is called Endeavor RX, but it's invented to treat children with attention deficit disorder or attention deficit hyper disorder,
Okay.
hyperactivity disorder.
Who made it? Did they make it? If they made it, it's not going to be good.
It was approved by the FDA.
to treat ADHD, huh?
Yeah. But it's a video game treating ADHD. So I thought that was kind of cool, just to see.
I don't know. Am I old? Am I an old man? Because I still don't know that ADHD is like real in 90% of cases. I just think children are hyperactive beings in and of themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, but
I think it exists. I think there is a class of children that definitely exists with real struggles in holding attention. But, I mean, look at society today. When a kid has a kid can be distracted by fucking anything. A cell phone, a TV, a dog, a cat. And then you want them to like focus on their schoolwork. Like, I don't know.
I grew up with people who couldn't focus on anything. Like, there's definitely a difference though, Jason. Like, not being able to focus on anything is a struggle for these people. There's definitely a spectrum of people where it affects them differently and affects them worse. But just imagine not being able to concentrate on anything that you're trying to concentrate on.
What did you just say? No, so that was a joke.
This guy.
That's a joke of poor taste. But I agree with you. Of course.
This guy. But yeah, I just thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah. See, Adam.
I want to say, speaking
as a parent with a
Speaking as a
child
parent.
on medication.
exactly.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Jaylee, I was strongly against medication, and like we took her to a child psychologist that we trusted. They like sat with her and they did like different things to determine whether or not they thought it would be beneficial. They said they thought that it would be. So we tried it out, and there was a night and day difference. And in my opinion, it's like the level of, especially you'll see it, it's frustration because it's even doing like homework in the afternoons was completely different because she would be frustrated when she hadn't taken it that morning, as opposed to had she taken it, then she can sit down and she like knocks it out real quick, and she's like has no issue, and then she goes off and plays like.
I think it's just an argument of that is Jaylee's natural behavior, though, to be frustrated with dealing with schoolwork. It doesn't mean that it's like beneficial to her. It is a negative, and you can absolutely like make her concentrate better with this medication. But I guess the argument goes into like, so to what spectrum is the frustration due to other factors, and is medication needed? I mean, in a lot of these cases, I can bring up other areas, not even like child attention, depression and all this shit. Like, to what level is it? It could be treated elsewhere. But as someone that did take medication for many years, I mean, yeah, there's a night and day difference. And, there are times that I wish I was prescribed like Adderall, simply because I feel like you're like living life with a cheat code on. Like, it's fucking, that's why the Chinese have got to beat us, because they all got fucking Adderall, man. Like, they are living life like with pharmacy drug enhancements. So.
I mean, maybe we should be more general then, in the sense of like, there are definitely people out there, particularly kids, where it is beneficial for them. However, there is definitely just to the mere fact that you're exposing someone to a substance, there is a risk of developing a dependency. Now, I just find it interesting. Out of all the episodes, episode 10 is the one where Nerdy Drunken Stone decided to get super serious on like real world topics. Like,
I mean, but it's a topic that got brought up.
Exactly. Wow. No, I 100% agree. But to that end, I'm saying, is it something we should make more available to students that feel like it is a tool, something that would help them academically, or
that's dangerous.
Yes, no, it's dangerous, but like, if you just want to be like hands off, like almost every person would benefit from like a drug like Adderall. I say almost because there are people that have fine attention, whatever you want to say, concentration.
General,
yeah, it's a stimulant. But there's some people that, again, if you don't have ADHD, arguably this stimulant just makes you speed, so you're not concentrating more. You're just speeding. You would actually do worse in a test because you can't focus because you're just fucking speeding. It's like you did a line of coke and you gotta go do your fucking test. You
never took Adderall or anything like that back in the day whenever you were playing Halo?
No, never.
No, the focus is like.
I was more general.
Ritalin, but I never. I mean, I've taken Adderall a couple times at my job and like my job history, and there's definitely like a noticeable focus. But that, I'll say, also depending on whom I took it from, because they have different kinds of. Is it all called Adderall? Is that like what it's all called?
No, Adderall is just a brand. I mean.
But what is that? Do we know the name
Adderall,
of that
you have
class of drug?
It's like Nike, Reebok.
Yeah. All I know is I took this one. I took this thing like 4 times from a particular individual at an old job. And when I took that, I would say I felt like a computer. Like, I felt like I could think 10 steps ahead, where usually I'm thinking like 3 or 4 steps ahead. I could see like, this person's about to do this, so I need to do this. Like, I could see all that. And then here recently, maybe in the last month, I took something from someone, one of these Adderall type pills. And honestly, the only thing I noticed is that I wanted to grind my fucking teeth, and it really bothered me. I just kept being like, stop grinding your fucking teeth. I didn't feel like I was more focused. I just felt like I wanted to grind my fucking teeth.
Sounds like sure it wasn't ecstasy.
I would know because I definitely didn't feel any happier. I just felt really annoyed. I was like,
just
I'm
smash
not
them with
focusing
Coke.
better. I'm just mashing my fucking teeth. Like, and I felt like it's like the comical version of Adderall. Like, you know, people say like, oh, you take Adderall and you think you're getting shit done, but really you're just like cleaning the same spot 10 times. I noticed I was very proactive at doing small, almost meaningless tasks a lot. Like I kept being like, I'm not focusing on big tasks. I just keep finding tiny tasks to accomplish. Like, but again, maybe different prescriptions work different ways. That was my whole argument for that. Is there definitely, you know, when I was a kid and I took Ritalin, like there was a noticeable difference in my grades and shit when I was on it than when I wasn't on it. I mean, the data speaks for itself. And but yeah, you get into a weird zone, like you said, Adam. I guess a dangerous zone of dependency, or do you need it or not?
I think it's very clear. I think it's very clear.
We let adults drink coffee. You know, adults don't need coffee. Like
It's the ability the likelihood to abuse it and the negative health consequences.
but
of
what is
speed
abuse
constantly?
No. So what is abuse, and what are the negative side effects of taking Adderall? Like, I mean, legitimately, there may be some high blood pressure, maybe,
Yeah,
but
that's what I was gonna say, high blood pressure.
So drinking 5 cups of coffee, does that lead to high blood?
That's bad for you. As well.
We allow adults to use plenty. You can drink as many Red Bulls as you want until you kill yourself. You can drink coffee. You can drink coffee, Red Bull, chase it with a Monster, chase it with pre-workout, and no one bats a fucking eye. People might be like, hey, maybe you should not have as many energy drinks.
Nobody at NDS recommends that you do that.
But the second that you're in college and you're about to take a test and you go, hey man, do you know where I can get like half an Adderall for this test? People are like, holy shit, fucking get this guy in rehab. Like he has a serious problem. Wait, you're chugging your 3rd cup of coffee, like, fucking all right, man, I can feel my fucking heart beating. Like, let's go take this test. Like, you know, I guess I'm just saying that we allow adults certain stimuli that are arguably just as bad. But I've heard that Adderall can also have effects on your chemical makeup. But then you could almost argue that
on brain chemistry.
Yeah, on brain chemistry. But so again, and I'm kind of like ranting, but you could argue that the brain chemistry changes, while not natural, are still beneficial. If it overall kind of numbs your emotions and make you more logical, some people would see that as a negative. But I mean, someone like me would see that as like a positive. Like, you can be in control of your own life, but that doesn't mean you're gonna cry every time you see a bird fall out of a nest. Like, I mean, what's the trade-off, you know?
See, I think where the clear separation is where you take kids that they are exercising, they are eating properly, they're not eating junk food, they're not sitting around watching TV all day, and these kids are still having issues with concentrating.
Yeah.
Then yes, then I think looking into some sort of other method would probably be a good idea.
Yeah, to me there's no question of that. Like, if you are in optimal conditions and are still struggling, then that's when you turn to a pharmaceutical solution. But so we mentioned depression too. That's kind of the same argument, because a lot of people will say, well, have you tried eating right? Have you tried reducing? Is it your job? Is it your home? Eating? Are you exercising? Yeah, and people will say that doesn't matter. People will say it does matter. So, you know, we're all snowflakes. We're all unique individuals. But I don't even know why we're talking about Adderall anymore. I need some because I'm distracted. I've lost my attention.
It was because the FDA approval of a game to treat ADHD. And
a game to treat it. I mean,
ADHD spun off into drugs.
It's because pulling your nonchalant.
I was chasing a butterfly.
Yeah. So it is still a better alternative than to say something where you could develop an emotional dependency.
I don't know. I don't know that I agree with you there, because I could argue that, okay, a game can treat ADHD. So let's use a child with ADHD playing this game. You know what else can treat ADHD is turning the clock back 200 years, where you live in a log cabin and all you fucking have, like, you have nothing to distract you. You literally wake up and it's just the sky and the grass, and you can chop wood with your fucking dad and go harvest the fields and go to school. Like, you have no distractions. So you could argue that ADHD is just a natural occurrence of, like, the human mind in an environment with too much stimulus.
This is why no one in Russia has ADHD. Because they could just go chop logs with their fathers.
Oh, you just drink vodka. You just fucking get hammered all day. I mean,
I don't know about ADHD, but I had a counselor once who was also a neurologist, and he was a Boy Scouts camp troop leader, whatever the fuck they're called. And he would say that he could tell the
pedophile.
kids. Wow. That's a leap.
I love the Boy Scouts. That was just a bad joke.
He was saying that he could tell the kids, in his mind, he could tell the kids right off the bat, because he would tell the parents, like, if they take medication, like, for attention deficit, like, don't give it to them, like, we're gonna be out in nature, like, they need to take it in. And he said that he could tell the kids that took medication because of they would be more aware of their surroundings, because it's not the fact that you can't concentrate on one thing, it's the fact that people that are attention deficit, he made it sound like it's an evolutionary benefit because they're just aware of everything. He was like, they're the ones that
stimulus,
they were the ones that were more likely to, like, be looking around and noticing, like, this bird and that tree and this plant.
But if you said, "Hey, I need you to study this little rock formation," they'd look. Well, I've seen it. I saw it. Like, okay,
like, I've already noticed it. Like,
yeah,
I noticed it before you told me to. But the other kids, they would, like, march in a line, and they would, like, do, like, they'd be, like, looking straight ahead. They wouldn't be, like, examining the world around them. So he made it as a, like, neurobiologist. Like, he made it, like, a neurologist rather. He made it sound like it was a benefit to him. It was beneficial.
And in a modern society, it very well may be.
It was just problematic when it comes to being in a classroom.
In a classroom,
which is unnatural.
Yeah. The study of a subject. Well, I mean, you say it's unnatural. The study of a subject is not unnatural. That is how you learn. That is how you teach. That's how you get better at your job. You sit there for 10 hours at it and you grind it out. It's what we do in college.
To go to a building and sit in a chair and stare at a book.
Just, I mean, it is
that natural. Did we evolve?
We've been doing it. We've been doing it. But that's how we evolved
recently.
No.
In human history,
they had classrooms in Greek and Roman times, and it's the same thing. Now, it might be more of a lecture format, but I think as humans, we have learned if you want to master a subject, the only way to really do that is either participate in the subject through trial and error, or like for fields like being a doctor, like
tradesmen, you used to learn on the job.
But so this will be my argument. Tradesmen can learn through trial and error and learning on the job. But if you're a doctor, you can't afford to go into a surgery and kind of like, okay, well, you watched me do it, you do it now. Like, no, you probably do need thousands of hours of class
surgery used to involve cutting off limbs, Jason. Like,
so we've gotten better at it.
They didn't have much to study or read about.
I don't know that I would call a classroom fucking unnatural.
Just to end this discussion, because I feel like we've talked about ADHD like non-fucking stop this week.
Fine. It's a good rabbit hole.
It's I think the biggest issue is the fact that it was such a ADHD medication was such a cure-all for any sort of behavioral problem in the 90s. It was like, oh, well, that kid's acting out, give him some Adderall or give him some Ritalin.
I think that's the problem.
And I feel like that caused it caused a lot of dependency, unnecessary dependency, caused a lot of addiction problems. But yeah. Speaking of which, as far as medical dependency issues, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but
Great topic change there.
Putin has Putin.
Little rough around the edges.
Thank you
like
for that segue. Putin now has a disinfection tunnel to protect him from the coronavirus. This is something that like a James Bond villain would do in a scenario of...
Why is he a villain?
Or just an intelligent world leader that
has money and hey, think about the White House. Think if is it with UV light? Let me ask that. Does it have to do with UV light? Do we know anything about the disinfectant tunnel?
No. Okay, so the disinfectant tunnel, it literally...
Yeah, I need deets.
It just... You guys can Google it, but it literally sprays the individual with... Like, this is Donald Trump-esque medical knowledge here.
But we know disinfectant kills the virus. So if it was on, you could argue that if it was on his clothes, if he had come in contact with it, this is a great way to.
What I don't get is if you already like have the virus, they still don't. They're still trying to figure out or decide whether or not you could be asymptomatic and pass it on. But say you're still in those early stages where you're contagious, but you're just not showing symptoms yet. They could easily give it to them no matter how much fucking disinfectant he sprays on them.
So that is true.
So according to this, Putin self-isolated at his residence in April when officials he had close contact with were diagnosed with COVID-19, including the head of the country's main coronavirus hospital. So he's essentially built a fortress of antibacterial machines.
That's what I would do
to protect himself.
If I was the head of the country with that kind of power.
Like Adam points out, I mean, if you're sick already, a disinfectant tunnel isn't going to change anything. But it is. I would love a disinfectant tunnel at the entrance to my job. I'll tell you that much. Make me feel a hell of a lot safer.
Is Putin an innovator then? Is he?
I would say so.
What if
No.
What if every place had a thing where it automatically scanned your temperature, it automatically shoots you down with disinfectant?
Pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could change if every single place had that. Yeah, it would definitely maybe stop coronavirus. Is that a realistic way to go about that? I couldn't think so. It's good for an individual.
It's such as a Bond villain. You need his type of resources. So,
they would need the resources of being the pseudo dictator of a country like Russia, where you kill oligarchs and then take all their money.
Well, have you seen? Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, Tampa Bay officially released photos.
Were they working out
of them
something?
in their uniforms?
No, it's just the uniform photos trying to get people dick hard.
That's pretty cool, actually. I'm gonna look that up.
so I thought it was interesting.
Rolled my eyes.
I thought it was interesting, but Dr. Fauci, of all people, he commented. He thinks that he described football as a perfect setup to spread COVID-19. And he said that the only way that teams would be able to eliminate this issue is if they had bubble protocols. What
is a bubble protocol?
They're protocols adopted by the NBA and MLS in order to proceed. And then even then it may not be safe given the inherent full contact nature of the sport. Unless players are essentially in a bubble insulated from the community and they are tested nearly every day, it would be very hard to see how football is able to be played this fall, Dr. Fauci said.
They had to have all the competitors at one location. You didn't leave until the season was over type shit.
Oh yeah, like what they're gonna do at Disney. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Because if you allow these players, we keep talking about it at work. Actually, it's just the problem of sure you play a football game with two teams that no one has it, but now you're talking about and no coaches and no staff. But now you're talking about two groups of maybe 100 individuals each going back to their homes on planes or buses or whatever, and then interacting for a week with other 100 individuals that interact with the other 100 individuals. Like, and so what do you do when you get a corona positive like they have with the Cowboys and Texans players? Do you just not allow those players to play for 4 weeks? So now your star running backs out. Like, it's gonna make fantasy football really fucking interesting. I'll tell you that much.
No, if you fucking start benching players because they catch COVID,
You have to though. You have to, or else all of this is pointless. And now, let me be very clear. You don't have to.
They're gonna avoid testing.
You can. Oh yeah, absolutely.
If that starts happening, they're gonna avoid testing at all
You
costs.
can let them play, but if you let them play, then what's the point of any of the protocols? Because obviously, a guy with COVID going out on the field in a full contact sport, I'm not saying that he's gonna give it to someone, but the chances are pretty. In a fucking huddle when you're screaming at one another. Hold on, let me spit in your fucking face real fast. Tom Brady's gonna give everyone in Tampa Bay fucking coronavirus if he has it. You know?
No, honestly, how likely are you how likely are you going to want to touch Zeke knowing that he has it? Like,
now there are certain, yeah.
Give Zeke the ball. They don't want to touch him anyways.
There are certain players that actually would be like less likely to transmit. The guy that's not talking in the huddle, maybe he can have it. But if you're a fucking if you're a defensive coach or something, like, you're fucked. You're out of there.
But even then, you know how close you have to get inside of a huddle?
Yeah, to even hear these people. That's my point. Yeah.
They have to get in each other's face just to hear.
Maybe you could make them wear a face mask. I mean,
but if there's no, we still don't know if they're gonna have. We still don't know if they're gonna have fans or not. Because if there's no like fans in the stands, then it'll be a lot.
I think
they've
said there are no fans, but they're gonna pipe noise in. They want to pipe like video game noise in or something.
So if you want to pipe it into the broadcast, but that doesn't necessarily mean that on the field. So you don't have to speak nearly as loud. If you don't have what. I don't know, what does a normal stadium hold? 40,000 people screaming?
60, yeah, whatever.
So like, it's a lot easier to hear, so you don't have to be right in someone's face.
Let's assume that they try and they realize they can't do this season. They can't go. The NFL can't do.
I can't listen to this. I'm getting upset already hearing you say that.
I need my football at this point.
So let's say that they can't go on for this season. What happens? You know, as far as
I'm very sad. I sink into a depression. I start
suicide rates go up.
Yeah.
Because we have lost every fucking sport at this point.
Well, no,
I was watching.
I just meant, like, you know, all these companies, all these buildings, you know, all these places that are behind on paying rent and stuff like that. Does it bother you to know, like, what if, can the NFL afford to not have an NFL season for a year?
I think the NFL
5 years.
I think the NFL could. I don't necessarily know that these stadiums and a lot of like the ecosystem around it can afford a year off.
The stadium can afford it, but the
you think
staff,
so?
The staff that works there.
The stadium would have to sell. A lot of these places would have to be like relabeled. You can afford to sell your stadium and keep it open. But, you know, it's why the Cowboys stadium became...
as a Cowboys fan, like, we've got cash. So.
No, well, you say that, but Jerry sold Cowboys, our Cowboys stadium. It's not called Cowboys Stadium anymore. It was only called that for like a year or two. Then he sold it, and now it's called something else. Whoever the fuck owns the stadium, you know?
I think he just saw an easy way to make money. I don't think.
You don't think it's actually like mostly owned by? You don't think AT&T Stadium is owned by AT&T?
I don't. I mean, even I'm just saying, like, Jerry didn't sell it because he couldn't afford it. That's my point. I don't think he sold because he was like, this is too much money. I mean, the freaking cities like pay for most of the stadiums anyways.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, I
whole
think you're
nother
right.
fucking
I think
nutshell.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that AT&T just probably plays a fuckload of money for it to be called AT&T Stadium.
But imagine
Yeah.
the revenue that's going to be lost if
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
it's going to be incomprehensible because of all the think about all the ads, all the not I'm not talking about just the amount of like souvenirs that they sell at the stadium. I'm talking about like the amount of money that's made for selling commercials.
Yep.
Um you know
So
what's
the
going to happen with
ecosystems
contracts?
around it, the ecosystem surrounding your largest American sport.
Well,
I
You're,
think
I
the biggest
mean,
problem would be hotels and restaurants in the areas.
yep, that too.
That's gonna take the biggest hit. All these billionaires and the league that that their little serfs play in for them, I don't think there's gonna be that big of an issue.
yeah, I can't argue anyone making over $1 million a year. If they have financials troubles, sorry, it's not my fucking problem. I'll say that.
So what about
So,
football players' contracts? What happens to that?
you
It's
probably
gonna be
get cut. If
just
you're shit, you get cut. I
yeah,
mean,
it'll be just like the freaking Major League Baseball situation. Like the biggest, like I think sticking point that was preventing the season from going forward was the players saying that they basically wanted prorated. Like if you cut X number of games, we still want to get paid. Like you take our salary and like you cut
you
based
cut
on
it by
those.
if we're doing 50% of games, we want 50% of the salary. We don't want
Exactly, and that was the
30% of
biggest
the
sticking
salary to
point.
play 50% of the games. Yeah.
So we'll see, but like I said, the teams can afford it regardless.
You could,
At least the
and
big
I know
ones
the
can.
NFL isn't gonna want to do this, but you could do a 10-game regular season bubble season that lasts 3 months, 3.5 months with playoffs included, and you could do that. Now, yeah,
Mhm.
the they'll still make money, but they're going to make a lot less money than renting out all these fucking stadiums. Clearly, so many people are going to lose money, but it won't be a negative. Like, the NFL's not going to go bankrupt doing this, especially for one season. Like, oh, God.
Yeah,
My
there's no way.
my big thing is just the problem is if you trying to do something like that, all I can picture is like Mortal Kombat meets the NFL. It's this island tournament where no one can upset the coronavirus ecological system. Like everyone's just stuck there at this island and they're just playing football for 10 weeks.
You
Like
don't think that could build, like, some intense rivalries,
I
though?
think
Like,
that would be so. I feel like that would be too intense. Like I feel like I don't
it
know.
might be, absolutely. Well, but the baseball,
Dude, you want to
well,
make more? You want to make more money? Do fucking turn this shit into the real world, like,
yeah.
like a film behind the scenes and like what they're doing, and pump that shit out as extra content and sell ads on that.
I think the argument the players would have, which we can get into the semantics of someone making $20 million a year to catch a fucking football. But the argument I think players would have is, well, now we have to isolate ourselves for 3 months to even play this game. Why am I not getting paid more when before I was making $10 million to go and do all the drugs I wanted and to go fuck everyone on the weekend and shit and show up, 3 days a week to camp? Like, that will be the argument that comes forth. But like I said, my thing is like, yeah, oh, boo-hoo, you get paid $10 million to go play your favorite sport in isolation for 3 months? Like, wow.
Yeah, to that I would say bye, Felicia. Like, there's the fucking door.
Yeah.
If you're gonna boo hoo,
We need to.
The XFL idea is still the best idea. I've spoken about that idea so much in the last week or two, which is just imagine if the XFL get all their players infected with coronavirus. They just said if you're gonna play we have a guy to cough in your face right now. And then just play. We could have been having XFL games live right now. Playing. I mean, a full season. It could have been happening.
It still breaks my heart.
We need to start skipping weeks more often because Jason just comes back with a vengeance. Like all this pent up podcast energy.
I think about that XFL idea a lot. Like way more than I should, and just think of like how smart that is.
I'm pretty
Way
sure.
more than
I'm pretty sure like a fucking some form of injection's a lot more
I don't-
useful than
maybe.
someone coughing in your face.
I don't know. I'm afraid of needles. I would rather a guy cough in my face. So
If you play football and you're afraid of needles, I mean,
Like, sir,
That's
sir,
the
this,
it's a pinprick as opposed to getting hit by some guy that weighs over fucking 250
You're right, you're
pounds
right.
going full speed.
could you
You're
imagine
right.
just showing up to the doctor's office? Hi, I'm here to have someone cough in my face.
I'm here to have my corona injection for the XFL. I mean, seriously, the XFL should have paid these guys. Every player that does it gets $100,000 more a year. And this is the stipulation, you know. And we would have it. People would watch it. People would be watching the fuck out of it because there's nothing else on. XFL would have record fucking ratings if it was on right now. Man,
missed
Vince
opportunity.
McMahon, I've such a missed opportunity. I can't even, I mean, it would have been,
not necessarily having people literally get infected on purpose, but just
no, to play the sport.
not
Literally.
just sign a waiver. No, why don't
Sign
they-
a
why don't
waiver,
they just
yeah.
sign a waiver? You don't have to get infected on purpose, but just
Oh,
sign a
I see what
waiver.
you mean. But if you get infected because you're out here playing, that's actually, I like your idea a lot better. That's perfect.
The mere fact that we're talking about this idea more than once is already far too much.
No,
It just
it's
shows
not.
how starved for sports we are.
It would be bigger than the fucking Olympics. if it
people
was
would
happening.
watch it because those same people watching would be the same people playing. Because
What are you talking? If the XFL was on Friday and Saturday, prime time, you're not tuning into the XFL when nothing else is on? Of course you are. We'd be sitting here talking about last week's FXL games on this podcast.
what? Oh, the dad bods beat the stay at home.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You know you would be watching it. And you act like they're not in shape in the XFL. The dad bods.
It was a variety of body types. Some people were like,
Not all NFL players are ripped. Fucking who's the guy in the Cowboys? Who's our running back?
Zeke.
Zeke wears that little cutoff shirt and his big fucking guts hanging out. Like he doesn't have a six pack. I'll tell you that much.
Anymore.
He doesn't,
Yeah,
he doesn't need
exactly,
to. He
but-
got paid.
Exactly.
He got
Yeah.
paid.
But he
Yeah,
still
he
wears
bulked
his
up.
halvesy. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's one of those. I still got a six pack. It's buried
hidden.
now.
It happens. If I don't eat for 20 hours, my six pack comes out. So
Six pack comes out. I have to talk about a show that we binged over the past couple days called Devs.
oh, I've already talked about this. That's the one on FX, right?
It's we saw it. We watched it on Hulu. It's like FX on Hulu. I don't know if
Yeah,
it actually is on FX.
It has Ron Swanson in it, right?
Yeah, it's got Nick Offerman from Parks and Rec. Allison Phil. She was on the last thing I saw her in was Newsroom. Then I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce the lead actress's name.
To me, it looked like another Mr. Robot, or what was the X-Men one they tried to make with Xavier or something? Not Xavier, with Xavier's son.
Oh, Legion, is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, it reminded me of another one of those styled type of shows.
No, this is from Alex Garland.
Okay.
He is the writer behind Ex Machina, Sunshine,
Oh, yeah.
Annihilation, 28 Days Later. So he's already does like the sci-fi futuristic, like however you like type shows.
Dystopian.
Yeah. That show was incredible.
Is it done?
Yeah, it's like it's an 8 episode like mini series. I'm pretty sure they basically have asked, or people have put forth whether or not there's going to be a second season. Once you finish it, you're like, I don't know why that's even a question, but it's basically an 8 episode miniseries. Sort of a like Nick Offerman, I guess you could say. His character's sort of like the head of a Google-esque type company, but he's sort of like this obsessive entrepreneur who has this massive fortune, and there's this like mystery department within his company that's just called devs, and you have to be invited like into it, and the location is like on a distant part of the campus, and then
So it's Ex Machina. Got it.
yeah, and then once you actually get inside of it, it's without even spoiling anything, it's basically just quantum computers and this trippy stuff they're using quantum computers for. It's an incredible show. I don't know if y'all want to watch it or not, so that's why I don't want to like give away any spoilers, but I highly recommend it.
Don't spoil anything.
If you enjoyed Ex Machina or like Sunshine or any of his movies, like everything from the cinematography to directing to like the score is like it's scored like a horror movie, much like Ex Machina is. That there's these jarring moments just from the audio alone, and like these beautiful shots, like mixed with this really intelligent story and really neat dialogue. I can't praise it enough. Like Emily knew she had to get up early this morning, and last night she was just like, "Shit, we have to watch the next episode." So we watched like half of it last night, and we finished it this afternoon. Every episode's an hour long, so you got 8 hours, but it's good. It's real
I've heard
good.
good things about it. It's one of those shows that's on my to-watch list. Just
Which there's a
Nick
lot of
Offerman,
shows.
man, he's on a next level in that show too. Like have not seen him act that well.
There are a lot of shows on Jason's to watch list.
exactly, yeah. Now that
There should be a lot on everyone's.
now that the COVID pandemic is officially over, I have to work now, so it sucks.
So that's why neither one of you guys have watched Parasite. Got it.
No,
Got it.
I've been watching 6 Feet Under still, so
Yeah.
It's just so it's easy to tell yourself I'm gonna start this show, and you end up watching 4 hours, but then like to tell yourself I'm gonna sit down and watch this 2 hour long movie.
yeah,
There's
right.
there's something psychological about it, the commitment.
If you say so.
What else we got on the dossier?
Have y'all watched anything besides 6 Feet Under?
6 Feet Under,
Mike,
Community, and Leftovers.
I will say the Grand Tour, their latest special is finally done. It's going to be coming out soon.
Is that the car racing people?
Yes. That is a horrible way of describing.
It's a simplistic way of putting it.
Yeah.
But it has the people from that other show. What other show did these guys do?
Top Gear.
Yeah, Top Gear. Okay.
Yes.
That was someone got fired, and
Yeah.
then all kinds of changes happened.
They had a long day of filming, and they were promised, warm food, a place to sleep at the end of the day of filming. And they ended up getting a tent with cold, refrigerated food for dinner. And the one guy, the main guy, who's my favorite, Jeremy Clarkson, he decided to then punch the producer in the face.
Well, I don't know about that.
Who was the producer of the BBC. So the BBC ended up sacking Jeremy Clarkson, and the other two left with him, and then they started the Grand Tour. Now they are on their new season, which basically Amazon has been learning about the analytics, because they can see, and it's not just Amazon, it's any Netflix, Hulu, you name it. They can see where you pause shows, and they can see where you skip things on shows, and they can also see, what you've watched over and over, etc.
Computers to break it down for them too, I'm sure.
Exactly. So they're starting to realize that the people enjoy when they do specials the most for the Grand Tour. So this next season was supposed to be, every episode was supposed to be a special of some sort.
Okay.
But COVID kind of messed that up. But their most recent special is them actually driving boats. Now, the thing you need to understand about these three is they're all...
I've seen clips from this show. That sounds like a dangerous idea.
Yeah, they're three motorheads that have been friends for a long time, and neither one of them ever want to admit to the others that they were wrong about anything. So they have these little adventures / specials where, okay, so each person gets $1,500, and you have to buy a used car to get you across from the bottom of Africa to the top of Africa.
Yeah, I've seen like one episode or some shit like that where they all have like random fucking vehicles out of these clunkers.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's more about bragging rights than anything, but
they talk a lot of shit.
They do talk a lot of shit, yes. But
they're British. It's not shit talking. It's banter, Adam.
This is banter.
Banter.
But yeah, so I am patiently waiting for that to come out. But I've been rewatching some of the old specials from the Grand Tour, which have been pretty good.
I forgot to say also, one thing that got me excited, whenever I was just wanting to pull up, because I knew Alex Garland did Ex Machina, but I wanted to pull up what else he had done. I also saw that he is currently signed on as it's been passed around so much, there's no telling it's going to end up with him, but he's currently labeled as the screenplay writer for Halo.
Oh, okay.
Which got me super excited if Halo ever sees the light of day. So far, that seems unlikely, but I have faith and I have hope, and if it comes out from him, I'll be even more excited. I also watched F is for Family this past week whenever I had nothing better to do.
The Bill Burr show, if I'm correct.
How many seasons are there of that?
This was season 4.
Okay.
I think it was season 4. And man, that show is so well made because it brings the jokes, but the story is so well written that you can sometimes like forget that, like, oh, this is just like a fucking cartoon that really has a lot of profanity and just an angry father in it. And I really want to know how much of it is realistic as far as Bill Burr's personal experiences, because he's sort of writing from his own life to a degree. But this season was equally good. I will say the finale is heavy. So if you do watch it, go in prepared.
Yeah, I watched season 1, and I remember enjoying it a good bit, but it just reminded me of like an animated version of a stand-up.
Yeah, sort of. Like, it seems like it's something that he could write a 1-hour special using one season's worth of content that he puts forward in the show. But I enjoyed it. It was another like good one. That never they never fail, but it takes them so long to make it so sad. Because it seems like it takes forever for new seasons to come out. But it's animation, just like Rick and Morty takes forever. That does too.
Well, Bill Burr also works on like a lot. You know, he's an active guy. He has a podcast. He does his stand up. Like he has a lot of shit going on. So
That's very true. Mike, you know what you need to get for the PSVR? I don't think the game's out. I don't think it's gonna be out for a while. Haven't looked, but I got it's a demo, and the demo's been out for a good bit. I just have been putting off getting it. What's the Iron Man VR?
Oh yeah.
It's pretty fucking nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not perfect, but and you spend a lot of it either over water or in the air, like in the clouds. So it's not like you get to fly through a city or anything. I mean, there might be that in the actual game, but in the demo you don't. But like the movement controls, because they use the what are they called? Yeah, they use the wands, and it's like the wands are the boosters. So it's like if you like put him above you and he's like, but if you like put him behind you at an angle, then it's like he's flying, and you can like tilt and like change, and you can like push one this way. It's pretty, the movement is pretty cool. I enjoyed playing around with it a lot.
That's good.
I keep telling Emily, I'm like, you need to play this.
hey,
Neat.
Iron Man VR game, that could be pretty cool.
I just hope the in game, like the actual game itself, has some sort of like get to fly through a city, because I need to do it just once as Iron Man. I want to fly through a city.
I'm sure you'll be able to do that. I know they have a bunch of different skins already. I think I saw like 12 pack of different alternate skins that you can wear, or different Iron Man suits that you can suit up as.
That's awesome. Mike, have you done anything besides play StarCraft this week?
No.
Like, no, haven't. Oh, the game's actually out. I'm an idiot.
Oh, it's out now?
What, the Iron Man game?
Oh, it's coming out July 3rd.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's gonna be $40.
Gosh, I feel like
Yeah,
we're
I
at
think I
this
can spend
age.
$40.
Yeah, you know what's terrible is like we're at this age now where it's just like it's no longer a matter of like, you know, of affording these games. It's just like, gosh, there goes, like, it doesn't matter how much it costs. There's some games where you're just like, I know I'm gonna have to buy it. And it's just like, well, that's gonna get burned out of my bank account. You accept it like it's a fate.
Yeah, I don't even think about it, honestly. Like, I guess that's the difference. Like, as a kid, like a $60 purchase matters. As an adult, I'm just like,
because
I
that
mean,
was
I
like
guess,
all your money basically when you were a
yeah.
kid.
And
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I guess if
At
I
the
was
time.
buying a game every day, it would matter. But, you know, like you buy a game like what, once a month, you know, something like that. If you're buying more than that, they're probably on sale anyway. So, so yeah, it's really not that heavy of a hit for entertainment and for all the hours you get out of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Titanfall 2 is 67% off on Steam, so it's only $10. Which I might buy just to play the single player.
Not sure what that is, but
But it's single
Titanfall, we
player?
already talked about it. Yeah, Titanfall 2 has a really good single
Titanfall.
player.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, dude,
thought you said
Titanfall 2
something
has
else.
a really good single player campaign.
So I've heard.
Yeah, the
I'm
story.
trying to remember if I finished it. Because you know me, when it comes to shooters, I just bomb and jump right into the
Exactly.
fucking
Yeah.
like,
I doubt that you did. I bet you never even played the single player.
it's possible. So something that I think we discussed prior, we had discussed the movie theaters and opening back up. Reports are coming out from AMC that they have substantial doubt that they can remain in business. They expect to have lost between 2.1 to 2.4 billion dollars in the first quarter of the year. And the company is said to have a cash balance, I'm going to guess that means cash on hand, of 718 million as of April.
Adam's so happy right now.
What?
I'm
not.
They're going fucking broke. No, I still want some theaters open.
No, I'm only saying this because Adam finally can scratch this off his fucking list of things to talk about.
No, this is actually fairly early news. Like,
well, no, they're
reopening. This is a week and a half old.
They're reopening all that stuff.
But with regulation,
there's restrictions on them.
You're talking about a 50% revenue decrease. You know, so how much of what your profit was at, or how much of your revenue at 100% was profit? So that's still like your bottom line, but now you're only gonna get 50% of revenue. So if 60% of your revenue was or like 40% of it was profit, which is still like a great margin, if you're only opening at 50%, you're about to still see 0% profit. Like, you're not gonna be turning one.
And even with like, they've even also said, like, even with theaters opening up, so many movies this year at least are releasing in theaters but also online because of there are people that fear going to the theaters.
Oh yeah.
Like, I personally don't think I would go see a movie in a theater right now. I don't want to be in a closed room with a bunch of people for 2 hours breathing in like their exhale. Like, that doesn't seem like a smart medical decision.
No, not at all.
So unless it's a movie you really want to see, there are some movies that, like, you might have gone to see that you're going, let's just spend the $20 and we'll watch it at home. Or because it's being released on demand, you can easily find a perfect quality version for free if you're someone that likes to torrent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, torrenting is, you don't have to worry about getting a camera. If you see it on the torrent site, you're getting the real thing. Both free. I don't recommend piracy. I'm just saying that I might do it.
Moving on, I think
you might have done it. But that being said, I'm sorry, just to touch on this subject for just 1 second. AMC still has a lot of, like, they still have money in their properties, like their theaters themselves. So more than likely, they will just have to sell off a lot of these theaters to competitors. But to my knowledge, AMC is the largest global theater chain on the planet. So I'm not exactly sure who is going to be buying the theaters that they're selling if they are the top dog. So as someone that really enjoys going to the theater and watching movies, like, yeah, it's a little scary to me. I'm a little worried about it.
Unless it's a blockbuster, I'm unlikely, I think, to go to the theater anyways. But that's more just a personal, like, if we were to have Noah in here, he goes to the movies once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, often. Well, I probably went once a month. I mean, I went quite often.
So he would be heartbroken.
How often do you guys use landlines?
Never, ever, ever.
Oh, that's right.
I don't even have one.
I have never, ever since I've lived on my own, ever since I would have personally needed a landline, I have never paid for a landline.
Ever since I've lived on my own, I've never had a landline. I didn't have a landline growing up.
Like, I've never had a landline. I mean, I've never paid for landline.
Which is why payphones are now a relic of the past.
Are you trying to talk about movie theaters like they're going to be a relic? Don't say that. You're breaking my heart. No, hold on. Let me Let me make a
Nah, there's a
comparison.
difference.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a
a
difference.
difference. Yeah, there's a difference between
please.
watching a TV on in your home and watching it on the theater with the sound. It'd be like if the payphone was like a video conference payphone, you know, like at the time compared to a landline. Like the payphone offers the exact same product as a landline, where a movie theater does not offer the same exact product. I mean, not in terms of the experience. I mean, no way. Don't fucking you go see some movies in the theaters, Mike. I don't want to hear
Yeah,
you.
there's certain movies that I'm not going to download, pirate, anything. Like, I want to go have the experience, have like my big Dolby Digital, like whatever theater surround sound, shaking my seat, and IMAX theaters, stuff like that. Like, there's no way.
Let me narrate for you. If the future were a movie, okay, coming this summer, a movie theater where no one can watch movies. That's that's what's going, because that's what's going to happen. It's like Adam said, people aren't gonna want to go anymore. It's got the same fate. Movie theaters have the same fate as pagers or payphones.
Just because you're
Or-
no, you're saying that you'll never go. Just because you don't want to go to the theaters doesn't mean other people don't want to go to the theater.
Yeah, I'll go to see a fucking movie. I ain't afraid of movies.
Oh man, I mean,
If fucking Avengers,
What I am
don't
afraid
know,
of is that
6
Mike
came
yeah.
out tomorrow, I would be in that fucking movie theater. I don't care.
What I'm afraid of is what Mike is saying is true, though. That they will die off and become a relic of the past, and that makes me
I think
really,
you'll just have
really
to drive
sad.
farther. I think you'll just have to drive farther. I think they're going to be a lot more sporadic.
I already drive to Houston, so who cares?
Yeah, but I don't think you're going to have no movie theaters. You think IMAX is just going to disappear? No, I think you might have multiple go out of business and there's only going to be one in Houston. It might be something like that. It might be more difficult to go see a movie in theaters, but I do not believe that theaters completely will die out. It's something that it's an experience. Using a payphone, Mike, was it an experience?
why you get the secluded feeling of being in this one room.
No, you're talking about a
Glass
phone
room of
booth.
hell.
You're talking about a phone booth.
Yes.
Payphones were like a wall of 3 that were outdoors and all next to each other. Like,
Oh, those don't count. Those don't count. If you're not in a
when you
glass
say
box of
when you say
emotion.
payphone, that's what I think of.
Oh no! See, I imagine a small cage.
Me and Jason did not have phone booths around us
We had
anywhere.
a couple of phone booths. We didn't have phone booths, but we had pay phones.
No, that's my point. Mike is talking about phone booths, not payphones.
They're still. It doesn't matter. They're still almost all gone. The phone. Pay phones.
Yeah, but theaters will not. Theaters, that's a shitty comparison. Shit, Mike. Shit analogy.
You guys can wish that all you want, but it's coming. It's coming because the reason why it's coming is because of convenience and on demand.
I welcome on demand, but
I don't disagree, but I do enjoy my movie theater experience. There's any big production, not even big production. There's a lot of indie films that I like to see in the theater because of the atmosphere, and it will make me sad to see that go away. And I do fear that might happen.
All right,
but
so let's just run this through. So you go to the movie theater with your friend or special friend.
okay. That's one way to-
it's called significant
Significant other or whatever. You're gonna have to sit like a seat apart from each other. Like, oh hey honey, this
now?
is great. Yeah. The other thing is, so let's just say you decide to get food, or you decide to get popcorn. How are you gonna eat it? You're just gonna like take the bag and just like throw some of it up into the air and try and catch it with your mouth.
What do you mean? I don't even eat when I see a movie theater. It's not about eating. I'm not talking about.
What do you mean it's not about eating?
I don't treat a theater like a fucking restaurant, like I'm some fat American fucker. Okay, it is about the movie. I'm in a movie theater to watch a fucking movie on a big screen with fantastic fidelity and good sound. That is why I'm there.
Yeah, but you're assuming that everyone, their experience at the movies is similar
No, I
to
think
yours.
that you're right. I think that 80 to 90% of people that go and see movies really care about that stupid fucking popcorn. And so they're not going to want to go.
It's
and
the smell.
They got to kill my love of the cinema because they're a fucking, I can't. I'm too sad.
No, it's the same argument that I made for, I forget what topic we were discussing. The infrastructure itself is still there. This isn't going to be a permanent thing where there are going to be no longer fans in arenas and the ability to go to the movie theaters. Eventually, it's going to pass, and the infrastructure will still exist.
Yeah,
so
it's going to take
anyone can buy it.
At max,
and reopen it
2 or 3 years, before things are completely back to normal. There might be a hiccup in time, and that's why we're entering a recession. But I mean, I do think that these things will come back. To Adam's credit, I do think movie theaters might be somewhat a dying breed, and it might become more niche than it is now. But I mean, you are talking about an industry that, when Avengers Endgame came out, it's still breaking box office records. You're still making $3 billion. Like, the movie industry is bigger than the NFL. So,
and people have been saying for decades now that movie theaters were a thing of the past and that they were going to die off. And movie theaters and chains, to their credit, have evolved and learned and grown. That's why they started offering like better food selections, and they like improved the seating and sound quality and bigger screens. Like, no, I think you're flat out wrong, personally. Not respectfully.
It's over.
You're wrong.
Well, then change topics, Mike. What do you want to talk about? Let's talk about that outdated hairstyle. Antiquated, relic of the past.
No, he's ready to get on a horse and ride into
Feudal
battle.
Japan is over.
I think you just called him Japanese, which I think might be technically racist.
It's not. That's the hairstyle. If I saw that hairstyle, you think like kimono, Japanese, samurai. That's kind of the style.
It's not what I'm going for whatsoever, but thank you very much.
I saw a hilarious I thought it was hilarious article this past week that the United States Space Force might lose the copyright to Netflix TV show Space Force because Netflix acted first.
Yeah. Well,
Finders keepers.
Yeah, if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. Space Force.
It was the trademark, not the copyright.
Yeah, Space Force was always kind of. I don't necessarily think that's like a super good name. I mean, it was always kind of a little ridiculed.
Because it sounds retarded.
Exactly. So yeah, if you were to name it to, I don't know.
The Federation?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what it's going to be called in real life. So it should be called. But
we already know it's a publicity stunt anyway. The United States military will have no face presence, at least not until
we already have a space presence.
But what I'm saying,
they have their own fucking shuttles.
But not until I think private industry makes the price of these things. Not until SpaceX and Boeing and all of them have kind of got their foot up in space. Well, you see an American presence in space, or unless we need to like retaliate against a foreign power. That could actually, that a space race would be great these days in terms of technology advancements. But
The things that would come out of it.
yeah, exactly.
My question is, what do we already have up there? Because the U.S.
Satellites,
military,
and I'm sure we have like
the U.S. military
anti-missiles.
already had the U.S. military already had their own like shuttles and shit, and they always launch new satellites. I'm like, who's to say that we already haven't, quote unquote, weaponized space? And it's not until we're gonna actually like fucking need it, or like you said, retaliate, that we find out, and then you're like, oh god. Or before the Chinese come along and start snipping out solar panels off of our satellites, like in the fucking show.
Taking our monkeys, building moon bases. That show's still pretty garbage. 5 out of 10.
Wow. His review
I
of
don't know
that
if I'd
show
give it
is
a-
going down.
50%.
I thought I gave it a 5 out of 10 last time. Yeah, 50% of the episodes are worth watching. Yeah, I actually think that that's an accurate review.
Wow. Well, never fucking joke around with the fact that movie venues of all sorts could go down.
At
Jason.
least films have like good medians where, that's my argument with Space Force is there's so many people just pumping out so many mediocre shows that anything that's like slightly above mediocre is revered as oh man, this is good. Like, no, it isn't. It's just that you're used to seeing a sea of shit.
It's tough though with that cast though. It seems very.
You're right. They do have John Malkovich, so there's one good actor on board.
They got John Ralphio
That's
and Steve Carell.
I will say Steve Carell is a good actor.
And
Okay, I'll give you Steve
Elaine's
Carell.
boyfriend. That guy's the shit.
He's a good voice actor.
Yeah.
I'll give you. Yeah, if it wasn't for his voice, he's a
Elaine's
voice
boyfriend, who's
the army general, Boots
oh yeah,
on the
yeah.
ground.
Boots on the moon. Jason, are you excited for Pokemon Snap?
Yes, of
Are
course.
you getting it? You
Yes.
getting it day one?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was showing
I
Emily,
was
and she
pretty
was like, "What is
excited.
Pokemon
I was
Snap?"
like,
I'm like,
oh shit. I'll get it. I don't care.
Oh,
I
you
know
guys
it's
are
not
being
gonna be like-
serious. I thought we were all
Yes.
being facetious. Oh, okay.
It's
I
Pokemon Snap.
think we both own the original.
Yeah, I know. I rented the original. I don't necessarily. I'm worried because I know there's gonna be like no one I can borrow the game from, but it's definitely a game I would rent and not buy. But I mean, Pokemon Snap was fun. I enjoyed it, and I like the concept of that type of game. I'll probably get it. I think so. If I don't get it, Jade will get it. So
I mean, it's still a gotta catch 'em all like type game. It's just you gotta
snap them all.
Gotta take a picture of them all.
It's called Google. Okay. There's your Pokemon Snap right there.
Don't go on vacation, Mike. It's called Google. They have pictures of everything on Google already.
Oh,
Never-
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
exactly.
Do you get the actual Pokemon in Pokemon Snap? You're so right, Jason.
I am. You're right. I just always enjoyed Pokemon Snap. I think it's a cool game.
I've aged out of that game.
I thought
The trailer
the
made me pretty
trailer-
excited, actually.
the trailer was well done,
Yeah.
and all the different environments that they like.
But if
Or
I
gonna
if
be
I
in
am
it.
being perfectly honest, I don't know that I will buy it. Like, just because I think a $60 price tag for that type of game is really expensive. If it was $20, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. But
That's true. That's definitely that's a lot. Because generally speaking, it's easy to spend $60 because you can justify it with the hours that you're gonna put in. But I'm not sure I'm not gonna put the same amount of hours in a
Pokemon
Pokemon
Snap
Snap
was
that
like
I am gonna
yeah.
put into.
it was like a 5-hour, 10-hour game. Like, it was not a long game. And it's not like super engaging either. It's just a fun game. But $60 price tags. Come on.
It's
Nope.
expensive for a game that's already on your cell phone.
Yeah, and I mean, no, you're kind of right, Mike. Yeah, in terms of gameplay, it might as well be a cell phone game. It doesn't mean that it's not a guilty pleasure, but
It's
yeah,
actually that's a pretty fucking brilliant concept for a cell phone game.
Well,
yeah.
Pokemon Go allows that. You can actually take pictures of the Pokemon in wherever they are in space, in augmented reality, basically.
Yeah, that shit is so fucking sloppy.
It's
The amount of pictures
something.
that were just coming out of like people taking pictures like on their girlfriend's ass and shit like the first week that came out.
I didn't see any of that. I'm
That's
actually unaware
impressive.
of what you're talking about.
That's impressive.
Because you can put the AR anywhere.
I knew I saw that
Oh!
And
Charizard
it's like
somewhere.
and it's like in
Yeah.
like company meetings and shit like
I have seen that actually. Now that you're talking about it, okay.
That's Pokemon Snap right there, basically.
yeah, but it's not as easy to encounter every Pokemon like in Pokemon Go.
I would imagine so. I mean, it must be difficult to get pictures of Pokemon that only appear on dudes' girlfriends' asses. So, oh,
It's not quite the point that I was trying to make.
and that Machop only appears once a year.
Pop that hole right there.
Oh,
Oh my god. So I saw in the news that Elon Musk's Boring Company is
Is that the tunnel? That's the tunnel company.
he
Okay.
he tweeted a response to someone that had like gotten a leak or something. Looks like it, I think was his words, that they could be getting a contract to build tunnels essentially under the entire like Las Vegas Strip. Right now they're building tunnels at the convention center.
Okay.
They're gonna have, but they could be getting approved for a contract that will take you from the airport down the Las Vegas Strip with stations at every major hotel. So you literally like exit the airport, go to the Boring or whatever they are gonna call it. I highly doubt that the actual shuttle company is gonna be called the Boring Company, but go get on your shuttle and then shoot down, then it pops you up at your hotel. You get off. If you want to like probably get in and go like farther down the strip when it's like too far to make walking justifiable. It's cool because it'll be like the first like major test in a major city to like if it gets fully up and running. Like it'll take years, of course, but to see it fully operational and like to see like his vision like sort of realized.
see, here's my problem with that, Adam. It's the fact that so you ever go to the bank and need to make a deposit,
My
but
God.
but you can't. You gotta use that little air
tube,
tunnel,
the tube,
yes. You know,
But
those,
what's the problem though?
those things aren't flawless. Sometimes the tube gets stuck.
Has the tube ever get stuck with you?
No, it has never.
Oh shit! Never got stuck with me either, Adam.
What the fuck are y'all even comparing? Do y'all have any idea
I
what this
know,
tech looks
I
like?
do. It's magnets, Mike. You're comparing like a fucking someone blowing air in a straw.
Oh, don't try to Joe Rogan me and talk about
It's
magnets.
literally it's fucking like a rail gun. That's literally what this thing how it runs.
Yeah, it's like a high speed rail underground.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not saying. I'm just saying that there could be some dangerous, unforeseen things from flying under the ground in tunnels at like 1,000 miles an hour. I'm just saying.
It's not 1,000 miles an hour. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
100. It's like 180 or something like that.
That's
or
it?
200 something.
Oh man.
Yeah, I
I mean,
thought it
I'm
was
sure the
faster than
capability.
that.
I'm sure the capability is a lot faster, but
Well,
right now,
but how fast does a bullet train go? To Adam's argument, though.
But I'm just saying, sometimes that tube, that thing gets stuck in the tube every once in a
A
while.
bullet train goes 125 miles an hour. So this thing would essentially be like 30% faster, 40% faster than a bullet train. And it can, because it's underground, it doesn't have to kind of like use the same trajectory a bullet train does, you know. It can be the shortest points between two distances.
What if
yeah,
it, like,
because
the brakes
there's nothing
fail?
and there's nothing in the way underground.
It's still not that fast though. Like if you're talking about getting to from like Houston to fucking LA on one of those, going 180 miles per hour, even the shortest distance between 2 points is still gonna take you like, I mean, I would imagine it'd be quite a few hours.
Limit's 150 miles per hour.
That's Elon's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be like a bullet train, and it would still take a long time. You'd be riding that motherfucker for like 6 hours, 8 hours, I think.
Imagine,
think-
Like a where?
If
What
you
2
did like
points?
LA to Houston, for example.
imagine one of those tubes like accidentally going into the wrong.
Yeah, but they're not meant for.
Into the wrong
They're
what?
not, Jason. They're not meant for international. They're not international. They're not meant for like nationwide travel. They're meant to
It's only
reduce.
for cities.
They're meant to reduce clutter within cities. Like he came up with the concept because LA traffic is such a fucking nightmare. Like,
The LA will
what if
have
you
it,
just
yeah.
what if you just built like tunnel on top of tunnel on top of tunnel, and because you can only go up so much, you can go,
Yeah,
you
I've
can go
heard
down
his
a lot
Joe
further.
Rogan explanation.
Magnets, guys. Magnets.
Look, Mike, airplanes fall to the sky all the fucking time, and people still get on them. So your
All the
argument that
fucking jetliners do
know.
not fall out of the sky.
I know. Once a year, maybe, if that. So I guess my argument would be, yeah, if there's a tube accident once every 3 years, I think people are not going to give a shit. Trains crash, you know?
Yeah, and then those things
car
fucking
crashes
fall off
every
and
fucking day.
explode.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't know whose argument you're arguing against here, Jason, because train crashes would probably be the best example.
Okay.
Because they typically don't have head-on collisions.
No,
Typically.
yeah, they just fuck up and fall off the rail or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
I actually don't know how train crashes come about.
They fall off, like they either crash into a car, which then pushes it off, or they probably end up derailing somehow.
So what happens if an animal
Gets in
gets
the
onto
tube,
the track? No,
underground
not into the tube. It's not a Resident Evil movie storyline, Jason. A raccoon that has rabies.
A raccoon that's getting hit by a fucking moving metal magnet pipe at 150 miles per hour. Yeah, I think it's gonna be all right. That raccoon is not gonna be all right.
Okay, let's say it's a bigger animal such as a moose.
How's a moose getting underground?
Ground, Mike.
Yeah. How many moose or deer do you know that have ever been hit by a fucking subway train?
Mike, I would like to make a point.
Yeah.
You earlier were discussing the fact that Elon Musk needs to fucking build a gaming system because it would be bulletproof and indestructible.
Yes.
You don't think these fucking
Magnet
whatever you want to
car.
call them, let's just call them trains, going 150 miles an hour can't rip through a fucking moose? It'd be like a goddamn speed bump if Elon Musk makes everything bulletproof. Like you claim.
maybe a moose, a crocodile, whatever. These are bad
It's that
examples.
goddamn 300-pound grizzly
A
bear.
better example would be debris of some sort. Some sort of debris.
Now that you're saying this,
You think they don't have sensors?
it's my future prediction too. When
Oh,
Elon
Jesus.
Musk shows off the launching boring tube, the first thing he's gonna do is have it hit a 1,000-pound obstacle and be like, and see, that's what we can do, because that's definitely something Elon Musk does.
Adam's like, where's the bear? Throw the bear.
He's gonna put up like a moose skull and hit it, a bear, and then just like a car and hit it, and be like, see, we're fine, guys.
He's like, let's say there's a tunnel collapse. Blow right through it.
Blow it. You don't even need tunnels. These things fly. Yeah. Oh, God.
I'm telling you, it's entirely reasonable.
Yes. Yes.
Anyways, I'm excited. I think if it works, it's going to be revolutionary.
Just don't be in a pod accident.
Just don't get in an accident, because I think that doesn't exist yet. God, you would have been telling people not to invent fucking airplanes. You guys are crazy. You're gonna jump on this thing with this thing that spins really fast and fucking takes you up in the air. You're an idiot.
You know how expensive pod insurance is going to be? It's not,
You're out of your goddamn mind right now. I want you to know that. You would have been the like leading airplane hater. You're telling me that you're gonna strap a spinning thing on front of a big giant piece of metal and it's just gonna take off? Okay, idiot.
Hey, it might be a moose, it might be an alligator.
What happens if you hit a moose in your airplane? That would be you.
That would be insane. That would be insane if you hit a moose with your airplane.
Yeah, not the subterranean moose, though.
Oh my God.
What else we got?
I think that is gonna wrap it up for this week.
It's fine for me. There's some mooses trying to burrow into my house, so.
Mike.
Yes.
Where can everybody find you at? Share that social media info.
At @the_Renrag.
Still no Instagram.
Nope.
Jason, still no social media.
Nothing. Don't mention my name.
I'm gonna ask every single week.
That's fine.
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, someday Twitch. I don't know. Whenever I actually get around to dealing with all of that. At XAlienXTV. Anyways, that's going to be all this week for Nerdy, Drunk, and Stoned. Please be sure to comment, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Bang that bell icon. And for extra content, stick around for our after show. You can check it out on Patreon at Nerdy, Drunk, and Stoned. We will see you all next week. Peace.
Bye.